back to Newsday. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, on the first day of December 2024, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, flagged off the 2024 nationwide Ember Month sensitization campaign to curtail the excess of drivers and minimize incidents of road traffic crashes on the roads during end-of-year travels. The Corps Marshal emphasized aggressive sensitization of commuters to speak up against reckless driving, as well as being proactive in reporting any noticeable cases through a host of channels, including the FRSC mobile application 122 or a dedicated radio platform for prompt intervention. Victoria Uwadoka, who is a celebrity FRSC Special Marshal, now joins us to discuss this campaign, how to reduce road accidents and the need for Nigerians to be more safety conscious on the roads. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Hello.
And compliments of the season
Compliments
to you.
of the season to you too.
Right, and this is a peak season for FRSC and of course for road safety. Can you give us a little bit of insight about the campaign and how you would rate its success, although we're still in the middle of the festive period, but thus far, how do you feel people have responded to the campaign?
I think we feel good so far with the responses of road users to the campaign, because the most important thing about the campaign is to raise awareness, because sometimes it's not that you don't know something, but it gets relegated to the background when you're in the midst of celebrations or something else. So we just wanted to bring to the attention of people the need to drive responsibly and to think about their safety and to think beyond the celebration, to think beyond that to the lives of the people on the road, apart from their own lives, the other lives on the road as well. To think about the children, to think about the day after the event. So that's what we've done so far. And, from the statistics that we've seen so far, I think that the response has been great, but let's hope that we keep it that way till the end of the campaign.
Great.
Yes.
Now, how do you assess the effectiveness of the enforcement? That's the FRSC's current enforcement strategies. What specific changes might you incorporate if you need to?
No, I think that, apart from enforcement, the important thing is creating awareness, being proactive. So we don't want to enforce, we want people to do the right thing. So we want to inculcate the right habits, we want people to remember the right habits. Use your seatbelts. It sounds like a very simple thing, but people forget to use their seatbelts unless their cars are reminding them, of course. Don't use your phone while driving. I know that family and friends are good to keep calling in, but remember that the safety of the next person, your safety might depend on you not picking that call. Because no matter how you think, oh, I'm using a hands-free, I know how to drive, I'm very careful, you can get distracted and it just takes 1 minute. And like we always tell people, you know what you're doing, but you don't know what the other road user is doing. So you need to drive for yourself and drive for the other user. That's super important. So at the FRSC, I don't think that we're looking so much at enforcing or saving lives on the road. We want to prevent incidences. We want people to do the right things. We want people to just have that habit, whether anyone is watching or not. I think that's the focus of this campaign, and that's the focus of what we're doing. Because, of course, we know that no matter how careful you are, sometimes things might happen. We also want to create awareness around how you can get help if there is an incident on the road. So these are the things that we're discussing in the campaign. Yeah.
Fantastic. And, lately everybody has been going on and on about Dirty December.
I know,
and
right?
people are more excitable than normal. It seems every year people get more and more overexcited. And unfortunately, that also translates into a little bit of irresponsible behavior, overindulgence, and so forth. I see that the FRSC has collaborated with traditional rulers to try and get the message, drive the message home. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that part of the campaign is translating to the grassroots?
So we know that, as the Federal Road Safety Corps, and you want to get across to people, the best way to do that is to get across to their closest influencers. And we know that around December, people naturally migrate towards their families. And so when you get in touch with the traditional rulers or the influencers within those communities, you'll be able to get the messages across more efficiently and more effectively. And it is a good thing that Lagos, for instance, is turning into a reputable Dirty December destination. And then if you, if you go towards the east, if you go towards Ibadan, there are great things happening. And it's a good thing for Nigeria because we want to create awareness not about anything negative about us, but about the goodness, about the hospitality and all of that. But, you know, getting close to the traditional rulers and using them to disseminate the message, I think that's one of the best things that we can do. We can stay in the motor parks, but you'll only meet the people who come there. But when they converge at home, these are the people who are closest to them, and they listen to them. So we think that that's, you know, a great addition to the traditional campaigns that we'll carry out at this time of the year.
I appreciate that angle, you know, going towards the traditional rulers. It makes so much sense. But I'd like to ask you, especially since you said you're staying away from enforcement and you just want to inspire change in behavior, what metrics are you going to use to measure the success of the campaign?
I think that year on year, we have data on the number of incidents and all that were recorded. And so that's what we're going to be looking at this time, to see how that campaign, the social media campaign, the billboards and all of that, the engagement with the traditional rulers, the news cycles, the press briefings and all of that. The only way that we can see how that translates is to see that there are less incidents to report this year than last year. That is what we'll use to measure the success of our campaign. We still have quite a bit of time to go, I think till the 13th of January, because we know that the aftermath of it, people getting back and all of that, we still need to create that awareness and keep that up and keep the conversation up. So we're going to see at the end of this campaign, we're going to measure the data this year against the data last year. I think one of the social media posts that we had is change the statistics. We want to change the statistics. And it's not that we're keeping away from enforcement. We are focusing a little more on influencing the right behavior. But there will be enforcement. So if you're going to be using your phone while driving, if you're going to be distracted while driving, we'll have to enforce because we have to keep others safe, even if you don't want to be safe personally. But, you know, we're laying more emphasis on being proactive, not reactive. We want to be more proactive, and that's what we're doing right now.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And in doing so, I know you've already brought up a few points, but, you know, as we are trying to influence people's behavior, I think this is a perfect time to do so. Can you remind us what are some of the most important things that each of us needs to bear in mind before we get behind the steering wheel? If we're not the ones driving, you know, what can we encourage to be done in our vehicles that we're moving in to ensure road safety?
Thank you. That's a very important question. And I think that the first thing to do is to realize that what you're driving is a machine. Anything can happen to it. So you want to check it. You want to check that the oil is there, so it's not going to break down on the road. The water is there.
Yeah.
The radiator is working well. The tires are good. They are pumped, so you don't have to stop somewhere on the road. The wheels are tightened. You just want to check your vehicle to be sure that your vehicle is in order. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when you get into the vehicle, you need to make sure that you use your seatbelts. That could save your life. That could save your life, so you need to be very careful. Check your visibility, check your mirrors. Be sure that you're seeing. You have your rear view inside. You have your side mirrors well positioned. So check your seating, check your side views and all of that. It's something that we find, especially for us women, make sure that you don't have those shoes under your wheels, under your seat, because they could come out. Yeah. And when you want to step on the brake, anything could happen. Check that your carpets are well fitted so that you don't have any friction to disturb the brakes or the accelerator. So those are the first things that you do. You put on your seatbelt. Now, as you begin to move on the road, you need to check your speed, because sometimes we get excited. We're playing the music, it's a festive time, and we get distracted. The music, we're dancing and all of that. Check that you are focusing on your driving. Make sure that you're focusing on your driving. Drive, giving the person in front of you enough space. Do not overtake on the right. The driver on the other side might not see you. Try and always overtake if you have to on the left. Understand those rules. Understand the traffic rules. And check your speed. Because if you're driving at a reasonable speed, you might be able to stop in time if anything happens. But if you're not, if you're too close to the vehicle in front of you, there might be a collision, and then that leads on to other things. Those are the few things that you have to think about. The other important thing I need to mention is Dirty December, right? And so maybe you're imbibing, you're overindulging, the parties are there and all of that. If you drink, please do not drive. Park your car in a safe place. Take a cab. Or have a friend, an accountability partner who is not going to drink for that night. Maybe you can change it over time. Because you might think, oh, it's just a little bit of alcohol, I can handle it. It just takes 1 second for something to happen. So if you're drinking, please do not drive. I think these are the few things that I would like to really point out. And then one thing that I've noticed, and that's something that really disturbs me. Do not put children in the front seats.
Oh my goodness, thank you for that.
Do not put children in the front seats.
Yeah.
It's not just that they might touch something. The seat belts are not adapted to their delicate organs. If anything happens, you might be safe, but your child might not be. The airbag might kill them. So put your children in the back seat. Make sure that they have the right kind of belts. Keep your children safe. Don't put them in the windows. Sandwich them. Put them right in the middle. Keep them safe. Think about the kids at this time. Those are the things that I really want to bring to the attention of everyone. And if we can do this, I think that we're going to have a great December. And we're going to cross over very safely and happily and drive responsibly.
Please listen. Everyone should listen, especially the indulgence of the Dirty December listener. I really appreciated what you just outlined. But how is FRSC leveraging technology and data analytics to identify accident-prone routes and probably implement preventive measures during this period?
Oh, I think that the FRC is, really doing a great work. I remember some of the officers and how they are very intentional about capturing data. Yes, we don't have all the technology that we need, but we do have some that helps us to calculate the data. And then, sometimes even when you don't have technology and you read the results over the years, where are the what I call them blind spots, where you have accidents, where accidents are most likely at corners, at blind spots on the roads, the hills and the valleys, the dips and the rises on the road and all of that. So all those analytics are done, and then deliberate and intentional instructions or recommendations are given for road users. For instance, if you can't see, do not try to overtake when you can't see. Do not drive too fast when you can't see ahead of you. Sometimes even, in some areas where the harmattan is stronger and the visibility is reduced, why do you want to speed when you can't see? Make sure that you're seeing every inch of where you want to go. That's something very important. So I think that, there's a use of technology. Yes, we might need more, but we're working on it. And that's why, they have the special units like the Celebrity Special Marshals. Unit 1 has been working for quite a number of years, and Unit 2 has been inducted. And so we're trying to ensure that we have enough feet on the ground, enough ears, and enough influence on social media, enough people having these conversations that we're having right now. And we're really thankful to Arise for creating this opportunity for us to create more awareness and to ensure that our roads are safer for all of us, so we can celebrate in 2025. That is great.
Absolutely, absolutely. Victoria Uwadoka, thank you so much. This is very thorough, very informative, and I hope everybody at home does. Remember to drive to arrive alive.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.